Allison. How are you? Rebecca! How's everybody's Tuesday? Hello, Ken. Da-da-da. Hello, peeps. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Hello, Arlie. I'm fabulous, thank you for asking. I got to do a little thrifting yesterday. Check out these pants. I will tell you a couple things. One, they're too big, but that's fine. We're gonna make them work. Also, I thought they had pockets. They don't. So, lesson learned. But everything else I got just had pockets. So, plus on that department. I'm a big fan of the thrift store. Huge fan of the thrift. Thanks for the heart, me, Arlie. So don't forget, everybody, the full moon is tomorrow, okay? So if you're feeling some type of way, it's okay. There's a lot of emotional energy going around. Just notice it, be present with it, and let it flow. Transmute it, whatever you have to do, but don't get stuck in it. I've had to rein myself in a couple times today because I just sometimes struggle with common sense. And that's something that I have to work on for myself. I'll get there eventually. Don't really know when, but I promise I will. Thanks for the heart, me. Also, one of my TikTok videos found the wrong side of TikTok, and so that's also been really weird. Again, common sense, you know? Rebecca, thanks for the heart, me, dude. Right, I get that. I get that 100 times bajillion%. All right, Rebecca, let's see. So I have the Star Codes deck out because tomorrow is the full moon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the gift and, what is it? The gift and the challenge for these cards. Hattie. So let's see, Rebecca, what do we got? What do we got? I also released a new class that's going to be on April 18th. So if you want to check it out, I posted it both on the Patreon and in the Discord. All right, Rebecca, this is the Progressions Journey card. Thank you. I love them too. I think they're cute. It's just the pocket situation. I really thought they had pockets. I was misguided. All right, let's see. Also, I will tell you the other thing about the Goodwill that's annoying. They don't have prices on anything. None of the tags had prices, so it was kind of like, good luck. All right, the challenge is that whatever you are facing is not a small obstacle or opportunity, and this is part of a complex pattern. Every choice you make changes how it unfolds. So to help guide you in the moment, consider where you would like to be at the end of your life, a far distant point, and then look back. Let this future become your lighthouse to guide you. Even though you may have to go around rocks and work with the tides, let the lighthouse guide you. The gift is trust the tides and set your own sails. It really was annoying. I get it. They still got me. But it would have been nice to know. You are not wrong. Goodwill was definitely, it was more than I thought it was. But like, it wasn't terrible. Ooh, it wasn't terrible, but yeah, definitely. The other thing too is I've noticed that the vintage thing is a big deal. So like I see shirts that I grew up with now that are like for sale for $30 because they're vintage. And it's like, they weren't even that much when they were like new. You know what I mean? It's like, what the hell? Melody, thanks for the follow. I will tell you, this Goodwill had a ton of stuff. They had books, they had everything. I did get Jack a $3 Squishmallow, but we're not going to talk about that. Not going to talk about it. All right, let's see. I could do Ken. Also, movie night was last night. We, amen to that, Rebecca. Movie night was last night. We watched Beauty and the Beast. Hello, Jen Marie. Hello, Rain. Ken, this is the Hearth card. Thanks for the heart, me. All right, let's see. Don't forget, tomorrow is the full moon, which means it is the guided meditation. The new shadow work journal comes out. The new archetype comes out. The meditation for the full moon is at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Okay, Ken, the challenge is that the Vesta warns you to share yourself rather than sacrifice yourself. Your hard work at holding the situation together may be ignored or taken for granted unless you know your worth. The gift is find the temple within, the place of quiet safety where you can tend the fire and carry the sacred temple with you always. All right, Dinky, let's see. What do I have for the Dinky today? So if you're someone who's feeling extra emotional and spicy, you're all right. It's the moon. Just flow with it. Don't let people get under your skin. I've had to check myself a couple times today. This is the Saturn structure card, Dink. Doo-doo-doo. All right, let's see. The challenge is be careful not to cling to old conceptions of success or hold on to a brittle system that restricts potential and leaves people discouraged. The ancestors call you to wisdom and maturity, to know your gifts and limitations. This process may be an initiation and a test that empowers you. Yeah, it's been one. Listen, one of my videos made it to the wrong side of TikTok. That has been really a weird situation. I had to ask one of the people in my comment section to be like, what in the are you all talking about? Because I have no clue. So that was something. Then it turned political. Don't know how we even got there. So that's been weird. I've also had some weird people from the past who've got things to say. And it's like, where are you at? Where you been? Where you been? You know, it's like, mind your own business. So anyway, I will tell you that today I did put the finishing touches on the shadow work journal. It is set to publish tomorrow morning. The new archetype, I do believe, is set to publish this afternoon. The new Patreon schedule is set to publish tomorrow morning as well, at the same time as the shadow work journal. So those will be right when you wake up in the morning. They will be available if you want to check them out. I also started the shadow work journal. I've started to continue to break down the prompts into weeks. Okay, so if you're someone who looks at the whole journal, you can go to week 1 and then stay with week 1, then keep going. Don't feel like you have to do it all at once. And it's also available for purchase if you're someone who's not a member. So if you want to just grab the shadow work journal, you're more than welcome to do that. There is a class that I posted. It's going to be on April 18th. It is called The Art of Receiving. So it's energetic discernment and using yourself as a clear channel, right? So I think a lot of the times people talk about opening their gifts, but no one talks about how do you work with it, right? This is something that I keep seeing like a block in. Right? So your gifts are open. Now what? How do you work through them? How do you use your discernment? And discernment is learned through experience, right? It's not something that just pops out of thin air. So we're going to talk about how we start working through that. How not every message you get is for you. Also, when in turn to use those messages and how to work with them. So that is the next live class that's going to be in the Discord. If you want to read about it, it's posted between there and the Patreon. So feel free to go check it out. Hello, Claire. So that's what's going on the next couple days. Tomorrow is the full moon guided meditation. It's at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. On Sunday, we did a guided meditation to go hang out with our animal guardians. That was super fun. I had a lot of fun doing that one. So thank you to all. I think there was like 10 of you that came along for that ride. So thank you for that. What else am I thinking of? I don't know. What's everybody up to today? What questions do we have? What experiences have people been having? Talk to me, Goose. What's going on in the world? Oh, Jen Marie, let me do your card. Doo-doo-doo. All right, let's see. Jen, this is the Passion card. Can things for the heart me flex? All right, let's see. The challenge is bring your inner adolescence out to play, but watch that it doesn't get stuck in a self-centered place, swept up in the thrill of creation and damn the consequences. The gift is let your light shine, let it be a gift to all the world. Your instructions are to play, create, love, inspire, and be glorious. That was fab. Loved it. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. Everybody's so quiet today. What we got going on? Also, the Archangel Mary container is posted. I think we're going to do it Saturday is when I posted it. So stay tuned. You'll see it when the schedule comes out tomorrow. I will tell you, it definitely is. I will tell you yesterday, I want to give an example of this real quick. So, why am I not surprised with the feng shui of it? Definitely is. So yesterday I was out and about in public with like a lot of people, and I took the bus for the first time, and so I didn't know what I was doing. So luckily this really nice older gentleman like called me a bus rookie and like swooped me under his wing so he could tell me how to use the bus, which was fabulous. However, on our second bus ride together, because there was a transfer, on our second bus ride together, his dad started like, and I had to be like, sir, I am so sorry, but I cannot pass your message along. I was like, thanks for visiting. Thanks for making yourself known, but I will not do that. So that for me is another example of I am cognizant of where I live. I'm cognizant of the belief systems that are around here. And I also know that if some stranger I didn't know started describing my dead parent to me, I would probably feel some type of way because there wasn't any permission given. So that is a decision I made to just keep my mouth closed. I see, hey King, I was streaming you on Spotify the other day, so thanks for keep making music. So that's just another example of where I mind my own business. Not every message that you get is something that has to be shared. No, it just doesn't. So this is why I always say, like, when we're talking about mediumship and we're doing mediumship, just be aware of other people and how other people might receive it. You guys might have seen there's a video going around on TikTok where a woman walked up to someone who was working at the Family Dollar, and she just started like telling her all these things from her lost loved one, and the woman was so upset that Quinn, you ain't gifting shit. You got the diabetes. Stop taking advantage of people. Look at the way of the world, okay? Goodbye. She was so upset that she had to like take a break from her job and like walk away because someone just started like vomiting all these things to her, right? And it's one of the things I actually teach in Ether 101 is you don't know what you're going to do to impact somebody. So, even if you're trying to deliver it with all the intention, do an ego check and like make sure that your ego isn't running the show, because not everything has to be shared, right? And so I'll tell you, like, this person's father stepped forward yesterday. I could tell you exactly what he wore. He was okay, so his generation was older, right? Because the man who was in front of me was 60. So he had on like one of those brim hats, like the older ones from like the 30s. It was brown and it had like what's it called, one of those like ribbon wraps around it, but then he also had on the same color brown suit. Like he looked like he was right out of the 1930s. It was really cool to see, but I just didn't feel like that would have been a well-received message, so I just kept it to myself. So if you're someone who's picking that stuff up, feel free to pick it up and then let it go. Like, just thank them for visiting and let them go. I will tell you, after I did that, I made sure I redid all my energetic stuff. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to say. If you are someone who is a part of the Patreon, this month, so April's Ether Study Hall class is all about finding cords and clearing your auric field. So we're going to talk about how do we find energetic cords within ourselves, because one of the biggest cords that I find for people is attached to their throat. There are so many people who are like afraid to share themselves. They're afraid to speak their truth. They're afraid to be seen as their authentic self, right? Because there are times that it hasn't been safe, or they've been made fun of, or they're ashamed of it. And you'll see cords connected from their throat, to their sacral chakra and their root chakra and their solar plexus. And so I think being able to help identify where these are and being able to find them for yourself, you'll be able to start being more present and how to work through the things that are coming up. You're totally right, Arlie. Some people are not. And then also the other thing I noticed too, and It's one of the biggest reasons that I stopped doing a lot of mediumship on TikTok is because what happens, like, so I'll tell you, I went into someone's room the other day. There was so many people in there and they're all sad. Everyone in the comments is like just begging for, you know, a message from their loved ones. They're willing to do anything to get it. That to me doesn't feel right? It doesn't feel like you're doing the service and the healing work with it. Hi, Tori. So the other thing too is people will get a reading from someone and then it doesn't satiate the need, and so they just keep going from reader to reader, and it's not helping. It really isn't. So that's why I really mainly offer it in a private setting. It's one of the things that we talk about in shadow alchemy, actually. So if you're someone who's ever done shadow alchemy sessions with me, we really get down to what is it and where is it. And the other thing that I like to tell people too, hello Hunter. The other thing that I like to tell people too is if you find yourself, right, you're scrolling, you're trying to find a reading, something happens, you need to go find a reading, check yourself, because that's anxiety. Okay. You don't, like, if you are just like scrolling or you're, you know, I need to get an answer, I need to get this, it's anxiety. Take a deep breath, and then go back to it before you spend money, because I will tell you that I've come across some lives where people are $125 for a live reading, and that's wild to me, dude. Wild. Like, what? So just be cognizant of that. Like in a private setting, maybe, you know, but in a live stream for 5 minutes, no. That's literally taking advantage of people. King, thanks for lighting up the TikToks, my friend. I appreciate you. Rain, thanks for those popular votes. Rain, do you want a challenge in a gift from the Astro deck? I'd be more than happy to pull one for you. I forgot what I was saying. I squirreled. Couldn't have been that important. Yeah, sure it is. Go right ahead. I do have 3 reading spots open, so whether you want to do general energy stuff and some energy work, you want to do what comes through for messages from your guides, or if you want to do a past life reading, I'm here for it. There are 22 or whatever is over here. Hunter, thanks for the heart, me man. And then don't forget, there's plenty of stuff available in the private booking link. So what I mean by that is, Jen, thanks for the roses. Thank you for that. So I always tell people a couple things too. If you're someone who is scrolling for readings, okay, please just be present with the person you're going to get a reading from. I can't tell you how many people sign up for a reading with me. They've never listened to me. They've never looked into anything I do, nothing. And to me, that's wild, because you're letting someone in your energy. To me, that's more sacred than letting someone go through your phone. Right? Because I get to see everything, things that you might not even acknowledge yet. And that's like my biggest strong point, truthfully, is being able to go into your aura and look at things that you're refusing to look at or that are subconsciously buried. And I bring them up to the surface so we can work through them. So I will always say, if you're someone who's new to finding me, feel free to hang out. Nana Stacy, thanks for the drink. I'm going to pull it in 1 second and then I'm coming to you, Rain. Feel free to go watch my live streams. I upload all of the TikTok live streams with readings to YouTube, so you can go back and watch them. There's a whole section in the Discord called past readings, so you can look back and go see what people have to say about readings that they've gotten from me. You're more than welcome to ask people in here questions, but just be present. And the other thing that actually was brought up by someone else earlier today, I want to say this. Be very careful. If you are someone who's going to get a reading from someone, don't try to read that person to see if they're, because you might hit wards doing that. So instead of trying to read the other person, read yourself. Phrase the statement of, is it in my best interest to get a reading from this person? And then go from there, versus trying to read the person you're talking to look into them. Do it in the words of, how do you reflect on yourself versus reading someone else? Because you might just knock yourself into some stuff that you didn't expect to. All right, let's see. Tori, I got you, my friend. Let's see. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. All right, I'm going to go to Nana Stacy, and then I'm going to do Rain's, and then we're going to do Tori's reading. All right, let's see. What do I have for Nana Stacy today? I'm doing the Astro card deck because tomorrow is the full moon, so we're reading the challenge and the gift. This is the future card. All right, let's see. The challenge is that it can be scary to leave familiar territory. Even people who love you may resist your evolution if it could pull you away from them. The gift is new beginnings dawn and your future awaits. This path may start out with uncertainty, but it'll become more solid and delicious as you progress. Sometimes the progression is the hardest part. Felix, thanks for sharing the live. All right, let's see. Rain, this is the Pisces Sensitize card. You're welcome. All right, let's see. The challenge is Pisces permeability can leave you lost in a swamp, wondering whether your sadness is your own or if it has been sponged up from your surroundings. Empathize with others, but don't try to carry everyone else's pain for them and double the burden. The gift is tune into a healthy ecosystem with Pisces sensitive perception. We are all cells in the body of one. Healthy individuals contribute to the health as a whole. That was fab. Fallon, thanks for the rose. Hello, Monica. Thanks for the heart me. All right, I'm going to pull Monica's and then Tori, I'm coming over. All right, let me put this sign up real quick. Ooh. You're so welcome, Rain. Tori, thanks for the heart me. I am putting that in the middle of my face, just so no one can tell me that they can't see it. Okay, let's see, Monica, what did we go? Ooh. This is the Chiron Heal card. One of my favorite cards. All right, let's see. The challenge is this situation can set off touchy memories or poke you where it hurts. Shrapnel can hurt as much as coming out as it does going in. Take this opportunity to heal so those old places can transform. The gift is allow the pain and troubles of the past to become the wisdom and compassion of the present moment. That was fabulous. Ooh, okay, Tori, I just want to double check. We're doing what comes, we're doing a what comes through, right? Is that what we're doing? You're welcome. Your tea looked lovely, by the way. Okay, all right, Tori, I'm coming over there. Just give me uno momento, por favor. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, you feel heavy in 3 places. Your lower back, your chest, and then your sinuses. Let me see. Hey, quick question. Do you struggle with articulating your feelings? Steven, you ain't paying nobody shit. You got the diabetes too. Goodbye. Stop taking advantage of people. Wrong time of the year for that. Goodness, the world's going to shit. Okay. Can I ask you something? Is there someone who's still alive that you're grieving the loss of that relationship? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Sometimes we have to make decisions for ourselves regardless of what other people think. I 100% understand that. So, a couple things. So, I'm just going to start rapid firing telling you some of the things that they're telling me. I get the impression that you're really hard on yourself. And that means that your inner critic is pretty tough. And the thing I think that sticks out most about your inner critic is it's stuff that, King, thanks for coming to visit, my friend. Keep making awesome music. You are saying things to yourself and holding yourself to standards that you wouldn't hold other people to. The other thing is, they tell me that like you take on a lot of things. Does this make sense? Like you take on a lot of responsibility. You take on a lot of things for other people, and it feels like because you don't want people to experience the same thing or feel the same thing. Does that make sense? I got you, Stacy. Okay. Other thing. They're specifically, okay, they're bringing me to your right side, and it really feels like you're like glued like this. And this is the over-giving side. And so they keep giving me the impression that you don't pour back into your own cup, but you pour into everybody else's. Also, some of the perceptions that you hold about yourself are not yours. And a lot of that lives in your solar plexus. So it's like there are things that you've taken from other people or things other people have said to you that you've now taken on as your own opinion, and they're not. So there's some, like, we listen and we don't judge. There's like a lot of people, there's a lot of work to do in that solar plexus region to kind of get some of those belief systems out of the way, and then be able to fill them with ones that are ours. So the ways that we actually feel about ourselves. The other thing too is there's something about the need to cultivate a sense of safety within your own body. Does that make sense? I get that 100%. Hold on 1 minute. I have to ask a question. Okay. The lens through which you see the world is the lens through which you'll see yourself. Okay? And so this inability, right, to share your feelings and your true expression, there's two cords that are connected to it. There's a solar plexus cord, and there's also a root chakra cord. So what I mean by that is there's a fear, right? So there's a cord stuck to your root chakra that goes to here, that there is a fear of expression, right? And it's not so much, it's a fear of being perceived, but it's a fear of you being allowed to be yourself, because that's, I get the impression, is something that you haven't been able to do. The other thing is there are so many beliefs in your solar plexus that you don't have anything worthy to say, or that you're overreacting, and that causes the block here. So that causes you to keep yourself small and like stay out of the way and keep your opinions to yourself. And there are so many things that you have to share with the world, Tori, because I think you know that you're a little light bulb, right? So I wouldn't be surprised by what I see around you, that you are someone who has always had some kind of spiritual experience, but you've been convinced that you're full of it. Does that make sense? Because it, like, who is hanging out with you? It's like they're telling me that you know, right, that they're there and they're present, but then the intangible stuff is hard to believe and deal with sometimes, especially when other people tell you that it's not. Hi, Tink. Left hip. 1 second. So I wouldn't be surprised too if you have tight hips, because they're bringing me specifically to your left hip, right? And so that's repressed emotions that are holding us back from moving forward. One more question. Do you have a resentment that you're holding against yourself, like a shoulda, woulda, coulda? Like, it gives me the I should have known better feeling. Okay. Because it hangs out like right between your shoulder blades. And so if I can suggest anything, whenever that does, please, oh my God, whenever that does happen or pop up, ask yourself where it's coming from. Because it's like, it gives me that there are some trapped emotions that are hanging out in your auric field that are ready to be recognized when you're ready to bring them to light. Especially that taken for granted piece. Okay, 1 second. Sometimes it's hard for us to change our perception of things when we are someone who is sensitive, because our truth is very different from other people. So sometimes we need to be able to like put on a different set of glasses to be able to look through another lens to see how it might be interpreted by others that don't feel the same as us. The other thing I'm going to say, Tori, that keeps coming up is your solar plexus gateway looks like a key. I could draw it, but it would be weird. It's like one of those key things. And your guides would be more than like ready and willing to help you work through that solar plexus gateway if you want to ask them. So, one of the hardest things about perspective is that your reality is not the same as anybody else's. And we can never make somebody see it from our point of view. And in knowing that, there are times where we have to make the decision to set boundaries with people for our benefit. Especially if we find ourselves trying to convince them or show them things, especially when there are certain people who go out of their way to intentionally misunderstand you. Does that make sense? And then, Tori, I feel like there's a question. Do you have a question you would like me to ask? No. So one thing I don't do is I do not do spirit guide identification for anybody. So please don't take it personally. The reason that I don't is because building a relationship with your guys is like is building your own relationship, right? And so going outside of it to get information, what I will tell you is this. Let me tell you a couple things. One, you have a woman she's very bright. I can tell you what she looks like. She's very bright. She has this big like gold halo ray that hangs out behind her. You can't miss her. She's very bright. And there's another who stepped forward who is like very Greek authoritative male is the best way I can interpret it. Those are the main two who have been talking to me. And I get the impression from them that you've interacted with them in your dreams a couple times, but might not have identified it as such. So there's very like lovey giggly energy from her. And he is more like very kind of dry and to the point. if that makes sense. Okay, the last thing I'm going to say is this. In one of the things that I see a lot is when people want to open their gifts, they're always completely worried about their third eye, right? And so what I will say is no matter how wide open your third eye is, if your receiving channels are blocked off, you will not be able to even get the information up there to understand because of the distortion in the receiving channel. So I would ask to, next time you chat with them, whether you do meditation, whatever it is in your way that you connect with them, I would ask them if they can help you navigate some of the receiving blocks that are there and how to work past them. Boom. So yes, ask them to work with you to open that receiving channel. That's my biggest suggestion. So it is starting to move some of that distortion, but feel free to ask them because there's really a big connection to this solar plexus gateway. And that's the beliefs that we hold about ourselves. And a lot of time what I see is people who want to connect, but they don't feel worthy of the connection, right? And that's a block in itself. So the other thing I see too with people who do readings for others is they feel worthy of connecting for others, but not for themselves. And that in turn will also cause a block. So keep doing what you're doing. You're not behind. And you're not missing anything, if that makes you feel better. It's just about asking them how to work through that gateway block and maybe ask them to activate it and see what comes through for that. Because I really feel like that would be the next step in moving through some of that left distortion. And if there's anything else I can say, before you say yes, Tori, to helping somebody, okay, make sure, check in with yourself that you have the available headspace to say yes, or that you have the available energy to take on whatever it is you're saying yes to versus just automatically agreeing, because I know how helpful you want to be. But it's also time to start being that helpful to yourself as much as you are to everybody else, because you deserve that. Make sense? I get that 100%. Those are definitely things that I have worked through, and sometimes I still do. I deal with not feeling productive enough sometimes. 100% get it. Hello, misunderstood. All right, Tori. I'm going to say goodbye to your friends. 1 second. Thank you for letting me in your energy. And truthfully, keep connecting with them. Ask them to connect with you in your dreams. Whenever you have time to be present, feel free to just sit with them. It's a process of building a relationship. And I always tell people too, it's like you're going into a class with someone who only speaks a different language. And you have to learn to interpret what they're saying. And so that's by being observant and just being present in the moment. And that's one of the hardest things. Yeah, the one who stepped forward today, she's got one of those big heliocentric lights behind her. The big gold light. You sometimes see it depicted in certain imagery. Sometimes see it that way. I love that. It's so cool when we meditate. We did a meditation this week, and we talked about all the things that people, hi Lavender Gorilla, we talked about all the animals people saw, and it was so cool to see how many people were seeing the same thing or processing through the same stuff, and it was so fun. Oh, Tori, thanks for letting me in your energy, my friend. I really appreciate it. The other thing I am going to say real quick before I let you go is the next time you feel like you want to run out of your body, try and visually and energetically ground yourself and see what happens. Oh, it was so fun. Don't worry, Monica, we had a lot of people come, but I know there were a lot of people who missed it too. But don't worry, we're doing more. The next guided meditation and energy work is actually tomorrow for the full moon. Oh, there's a fly. Tori, you're so welcome. So welcome. Hi everybody, I hope you're all having a great day. Stacy, are you still in here with me? So a couple things. Tomorrow is the 1st, which means the new shadow work journal, the new archetype, and the guided meditation for the full moon is tomorrow. Then also we're going to be doing a sacred container with Archangel Mary that is coming out for this weekend. And then the Ether Study Hall for this month is about finding cords and clearing your energetic field. So that's what the Ether Study Hall is for Patreon. And then there is a live class on April 18th. And if you're someone who's interested in learning about that, feel free to check it out. It's posted between the Discord and the Patreon. All right, Stacy, what kind of reading are we doing? Are we doing energy work? Are we doing what comes through? Or are we doing a past life reading? What sounds good for you? Now I have that. Check it out now. The funk soul brother. Check it out now. Okay. Bye, Tori. Thanks for letting me in your energy, friend. See you later. All right, Stacy, give me a second. Stacy, can I ask you a question? Do you have eye problems? Okay. Do you carry a lot of tension in your jaw? This is gonna be a real random question. Do you like to cook? Is like cooking something you like to do? All right, couple things. So I'm just gonna start telling you what I feel. One, there is a ton of pressure in your jaw, right? And what this is it's a backflow of a blocked throat. And this throat has a cord that goes down to root. So I wouldn't be surprised if you have normalized making yourself small and keeping yourself that way, so not to like rock the boat or cause waves. The other thing too is energetically it feels lopsided in your auric field because I have this inclination that you overgive of yourself to people. But it looks like within the last 6 months to a year, you've started working on balancing that. Wouldn't be surprised if you deal with intermittent anxiety belly and sometimes heartburn. Sorry, 1 second. There's something about creativity. Okay, are there a lot of things, like, are there things that you used to like to do that you don't do as much anymore, that were like aiding in, whether it's the cooking piece, whether it's creating things or planting things? Is there something that like you've kind of pulled away from and don't do as much? Because I get the impression that there are things that you used to do for yourself but you don't do as much, and it's kind of aided in some disconnection. Okay. Would you also identify that there's some fear of the future? And when I dig deeper into that, it's like, how do I articulate this? Hold on a second. They just keep like tapping their left foot at me. And so there's some, when they do this, to me, it's a fear. There's some kind of fear of the future, but it's connected to, I can't tell if it's resources or if it's a pattern that keeps repeating. Does this make sense? Might be, okay. Do you struggle with being able to receive love from others, or feeling like that's something you haven't been able to ever receive before? Okay. All right. Do you have a fear that you'll never find it? I get the impression that from an early age, you were taught to be quiet and be small. It's something that they keep bringing me back to, and it also, like, they keep bringing up the need for like self-love and things for yourself. So if you are someone who struggles to pour into your own cup, find small ways that you can start doing that, even if it's just being present with yourself for 30 seconds. They keep showing me outside. Do you like to spend time outside in nature? And some pretty flowers. Okay. That's a very specific type of flower. Hold on one second. I need to Google something. Okay, so they kept showing me this very specific flower, and I had to ask what kind, because I could tell you what color it was, but I couldn't tell you exactly what it was. And they told me it's an anemone flower, right? And so I wanted to look up what it symbolizes, and it's love and affection. So if there's any way to start being able to pour back into your own cup, whether it's being outside and present with yourself. The other thing too is I feel like you take on a lot of responsibility for other people, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical, whether it's helping. Make sure that you are taking time to show yourself the equal measure, because a lot of time we will continue to help everybody else, but then we struggle to do it for ourselves because we don't find that we're supportive of it, or that we deserve it, or that it's even realistic to attain. What's up with that? Hold on. Stacy, do you have a sleep struggle? Like, do you struggle with sleep? Okay, that's what they showed me. It's like you'll get like, you'll be asleep for like 3 or 4 hours and then wake up, and it's like sleeping in spurts. Okay, I have another. This is a. Do you have like a chair that you spend a lot of time in, like a recliner or something? Okay, that's weird. I'm just gonna let that go because they keep continually showing me like a green recliner. I'm not quite sure what that's supposed to mean. So we're just gonna move past that because I couldn't tell you. Hold on. I'm definitely in somebody's living room. Hold on a second. This is so weird. 1 second. Okay, Stacy, let me ask you a question. Is there a certain question that you have that you would like to ask, or is there something in particular you would like me to look at? I'm just going to tell you everything that just came through in regards to that question. So there's something to be said around love and self-love. There also is something to be said about around believing that you're worth the support that's coming through. I also get the impression that there are times where you tell yourself that like it's in your head, or that didn't happen, or you find a way to logic out of it. And so there's just some coming into taking what it is in the moment and then not overthinking it, because they show me that they're getting messages to you, but sometimes it goes undelivered. That's like the best way I can describe it. Also, you're someone who is energetically sensitive. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, I think you feel things more than you give yourself credit for. So what I'm going to tell you is that you have a lot of people who hang out on your let me ask you this. Do you have a dad who's passed? Okay. So what I'm going to tell you is you have a lot of people who hang out with you, okay? They're with you, they're in your field. And so they, a lot of times when we're first opening things up, they come through on your left side. And so he very specifically, like when I first came in, he's standing on your left side with his hand on your shoulder. And so I get the impression that there are times where you get like goosebumps, or like an intrusive thought that isn't yours and you don't know where it came from. And when that happens, take time to just be present. So like the next time that you feel something, energetically, sit with it for a minute. Ask who it is. Ask if they can show you anything. Ask them who they are. And the next time you get like a random intrusive thought, okay, ask where it came from, sit with it. And instead of thinking, oh, I must have just made that up, either write it down or find a way to come back to it, because I guarantee you it'll probably make more sense when we get rid of the nervousness of it coming through to begin with. So I think the more you spend time being present with yourself, Stacy, the more things will start to come through, because everyone deals with the nerves and the doubting themselves. And the more you spend time in that present moment with them, the more you'll be able to kind of kick those over to the wayside. And you can also ask them for confirmation too. So say you're talking to your guides and you want a confirmation. You can say to them, can you show me tomorrow, can you prove that you're with me by showing me a frog? Or can you, and you can make something wild too if you want, and then wait and see how the confirmation comes through. Do you happen to find a lot of coins? Like in weird places? Okay, all right. So what I am going to tell you is this. I guarantee, well, I'm not going to guarantee it, but I'm pretty positive. So let me just rephrase. I'm pretty positive that in the next week, you're going to find a penny tail side up in a weird place. I feel like it's going to be on a carpet. That's what it looks like. So just keep an eye out for that, because that will also be another confirmation, but it's a tail side up penny on like a rug, and it looks like a lighter colored rug. So keep an eye out for that in the next week, and then that'll be another confirmation you can use. But there's definitely those looking to connect with you, and you also have some guides who are hanging out too as well. So if you wanted to start doing more like meditations around it, I have free meditations on the YouTube. One of them is to connect with your spirit guides. So feel free to do that too, and then see what comes through when you do that as well. Hold on, there's a puzzle piece. The other thing that I'm going to say before I leave out of here, Stacy, would be if you are practicing your energy work, do some grounding stuff, even outside. And I think you'll start to notice a difference in the way you feel within your own body. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really look for any lost loved ones. It's just that your dad was very, very, very prominent, was the first to say hello to me and tell me who he was and all those things. So he's really the only lost loved one I saw. I really hung out with your guides more. But he's definitely there for sure. As I was leaving, I got this image of some kind of gold necklace. It kind of looks like it has I don't know, it looks like it had a woman's face on it, but it was a side profile. So I don't know if that has anything to do with her, but that was the last image that came through as I was, BC girl, thanks my friend, you as well, as I was walking out of there. So feel free to connect in with them. And every time you doubt yourself, ask yourself where the doubt comes from. Because a lot of the times the doubt and beliefs that we hold on to are beliefs that other people have instilled in us. I know when I started trying to talk about mediumship to people that I knew, because I kept it a secret until last year. And it's because whenever I would try to broach it to people, like the person I was dating or whatever, they would just throw it off. Yeah, that doesn't, yeah, I don't know how you would know that, but I don't understand, it doesn't make sense. And it really started to gaslight me out of what I knew. I'll never forget, I had a partner, and that night his grandparents came to me. And so I went downstairs the next day and I was pretty sure your grandparents came to visit last night and had some things to say. And he basically confirmed for me that it was them, because I can see them. But then found a way to discredit it, that it couldn't have been. So those type of things will keep you in the closet. So find your people that you can share with. So cleansing comes in a multitude of different ways. If you're someone who, so people, you can smoke cleanse. I'm a big fan of energetic cleansing all the time. If you're someone who wants to learn, like I have a Ether 101 class. It's available on the Patreon. The classes are $22 if you want to download it, or if you join whatever certain tiers in the Patreon, you can access it. It talks about how to ground yourself, cleanse yourself, shield yourself, call your power back, and cut your cords. So that's always like my first place to start, is learning those couple of things and seeing how it goes. The easiest way I cleanse is every time I go to the bathroom, Stacy, if that's helpful. Every time I go to the bathroom, I cleanse. There's also ways that you can ask your guides to help you cleanse as well. And you can also, like, imagine you have an energetic Swiffer. Oof. Feel free, Stacy. We have a lot of fun. We have a ton of fun. You'll find them over in the Patreon. They're accessible whenever you would like. There's a live class coming up next month. And then if you're a member of the Patreon, we do what's called Ether Study Hall every month, which is a workshop for people in there. And every month the subject changes. And you also get access to all the previous months as well. So feel free to check them out. Hunter, that's hard. That's hard. One of the biggest things I'll say is not Neato down. Not everyone this is gonna sound, I don't know how else to say this. Stacy, you're so welcome. Thanks for letting me in your energy. Sometimes people struggle with things that they don't understand. And I hope that over time the understanding will come, and that'll be a safe space. But I know what it's like to like share your guts with somebody and then they have nothing to say. And that can be really unnerving, so to speak. You know? You're so welcome. All right, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. How's a hair? So don't forget, tomorrow's the full moon. So we do a full moon guided meditation and energy work every month over on Patreon. The new shadow work journal comes out tomorrow, as well as the new archetype. So check those out as well. And then the container with Archangel Mary is coming up. It's on the Patreon schedule. That'll come out tomorrow. Oh, let me fix this. What's everybody up to today? What's everybody had for lunch? What's everybody got going on? I didn't realize it's already 1:30. Time flies when you're having fun. I support that. Mine's gone almost. But I think I made it at like 7:30 this morning. I'm doing better about being up early. I would also like to work more on my moth today. No, I'm not going to show it to you because it's in the trust the process phase and I don't like it yet. So there's that. You like them microwavable pizzas, huh? Isn't that, I think that's like the second time you've told me you've had a microwavable pizza. Oh, Courtney, hi, boo. Dude, that don't sound bad. Courtney, you want your card for the day? That's fair. I get it. Is it a plain microwavable pizza? And what brand is it? Because for research and development purposes, I might have to try it. I would like to make a pizza with some puff pastry. All right, let's see. What we go. Okay, that's fair. You really can't, you can't go wrong. I've had some really shitty pizza. Elio's I don't like. Not a big fan. All right, let's see. What do I got for Courtney today? We're using the Astro deck, and we're reading the challenge and the gift. Oh, Courtney, which one, left or right? I just don't like flour tortillas. I would rather have a burrito bowl. Flour tortillas get stuck in my teeth. I hate that. It drives me nuts. Then you gotta like claw it off your teeth. This is the tension card. All right, let's see. The challenge is that this is a workout of body, mind, or spirit, and that workouts can be tiring. The gift is take this opportunity to build strength and learn to reconcile the conflicts within. When you can resolve internal conflicts, it's easier to solve external ones. Courtney, what you got going on? Hey, how's the axolotls? A lot of good cards today. Don't forget the full moon's tomorrow. So if you're someone who's feeling spicy, you're dealing with weird emotions, people are frustrating more than usual, it's okay. Just work through it, process it, transmute it, keep it pushing. That is a win, most definitely. Look at you, the axolotl sanctuary you've created. I love that. I love it. Oh. We're having burger bowls for dinner. I'm very excited. Very excited. They're really good. So don't forget, tomorrow is the full moon. So we're doing energy work and guided meditation over in the Patreon. And if you want to check it out, Ember is on a 7-day free trial. So if you want to go check out the Patreon without committing to it, check out the trial, see what happens. And then if you're someone who's a TikTok super fan, I am putting the wow, words. I'm gonna put the poll for the next movie night up soon. And then don't forget, the next live class that I'm doing is going to be on April 18th. It's all about energetic discernment and opening a clear channel. So feel free to come hang out. It's $33 per person. And it's live in the Discord. It's on April 18th at 3 p.m. That's a Saturday. While we're here hanging out, hi Tom, does anyone have questions for me? Whether it's about energy stuff, whether it's about connecting stuff, whether it's about whatever. What you got for me? I am here to answer questions, and if I don't have the answer, I will direct you to the right place. Tom, what have you been up to? Anything exciting? Hi Maria, how are you? I'm not. I changed it. I changed the cards around because I was doing too many, like there was one live I did like 60 oracle cards back to back and I couldn't even talk about anything, so I changed it to the T, the Mystic T, just to give myself some, well, for the Mystic T and super fans. So I just changed it a little to give myself grace because I was pulling way too many oracle cards. It can do both because it probably make you more sleepy, because there's a lot of emotional shit, and everyone else has a lot of emotional shit. And it can get heavy if you don't clear it, and that it'll make you tired and sleepy, and you know, all those things. So that's why I said, especially in the Daily Collective, I said today, like, be cognizant of what's yours and what isn't. Oh, Gorilla. That's hard. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sending you all the love. Hi, Shay. Yeah, it's a weird time, right? And so the other thing too is, this is going to sound really weird. I don't know how else to say it, but when you have people who aren't really like awake, okay, they don't realize it, so they just react to it. So that's why I try to tell people, like, be cognizant of what other people say, because it ain't about you, especially around this time, because they're just taking what they feel and reacting to it. And half the time what they're feeling isn't even fucking theirs. So they're just reacting to shit to react to it because they think it's theirs, but it ain't. That's like the easiest way I can say it. Thanks for the go popular at the heart, Miche. Thanks for the finger heart, Jen Marie. So, the next live class is on April 18th. It's all about energetic discernment and opening a clear channel. It's $33 a person. It's live in the Discord, so feel free to check it out. And then the Ether Study Hall for this month for my Patreon people is all about finding your chords and clearing your own auric field. So that is a part of the Ether Study Hall for this month. And tomorrow is another guided meditation for the full moon. Big back. Cracks me up. Everybody's so quiet today. We watched Beauty and the Beast last night. That was fun. I did try to do an impromptu movie night the other night. Oh yeah, I have multiple. There's one there. There's one there. Oh, there's one there. I have three. I have three wolves. Jen, thanks for the finger hearts. You the bomb. Yes, it is. It's a very big one. It's also connected to like certain, there are certain energies that come with it, if that makes sense too. The last guided meditation that we did do was actually to go meet our animal guardian. So if you're someone who hangs out in the Patreon, feel free to check it out. That's what we did on Sunday. I know we had some sleepers, but that's how you know it was a good one. That's how you know it was a good one. Monica, thanks for lighting up the finger hearts. Oh, that's really cool. Have you looked into who they may be attached to or what they symbolize? Oh, and don't forget the Archangel Mary container, I'm pretty sure is this weekend. Hold on, let me look. If you're someone who does, if I can tell you anything, looking into information you receive, even from a reading, can help give you the verification. So feel free to just research it, right? I did a whole podcast episode actually about this, of how when we get information, what do we do with it? How do we research it? How do we ask more questions about it? That's always my biggest suggestion to everybody, is get curious. And then the more you research and look into things, the more things may make sense, the more messages you may get, and then it'll kind of help you start to decipher it. That's my biggest suggestion. If you're someone who's ever done a shadow alchemy with me, especially if you're someone who does the multiple ones, on the last session we do a sacred container with Archangel Michael to help work through some stuff. So that has been a really big part of shadow alchemy. And so this coming Friday on the 3rd, we're gonna do a container with Archangel Mary, and that's gonna be over in the Patreon. Because love is a big thing people have been struggling with. Self-love, love for other people, grace, compassion. Ooh, Monica, I like that picture. It's been a big pattern that I've noticed. And then don't forget, the podcast episode this week's going to talk about astrocartography, some astrology stuff. And please, if you guys ever want something covered in the podcast, please let me know. Because I gather my topics from you guys, right? Because it's not about talking about me. It's about how can I help you? So if there's ever topics that you specifically want covered, please feel free to let me know. I really feel hi JJ, what you up to? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I feel like specifically called to pull 3 people a talisman. So those 3 people are Jen Marie, Hunter, and Monica. Would the 3 of you like a talisman? 1 second. Hold on, I had to make sure I didn't flash anybody. Oh. Let's see. Oh. JD, do you work with cars? All right, let's see. What do I got for Jen Marie? Jen Marie, this is the Let Go card. It has a crab. All right, let's see. Just like running water, everything keeps constantly changing. You've been holding on to a burden that's been slowing you down, and sometimes we know what the other is. Other times, we need to examine our needs and our behavior. Often holding on comes from a need to control our life and surroundings. It gives us comfort that we can direct the circumstances and avoid a painful path. But if we let go of the illusion of control, we can find peace and enjoy the ride. Being vulnerable offers an opportunity for connection and closure. The little crab has a lot to learn to let things go. The flower in front of him is a delicate gift from nature to bring joy. Be nice to each other, kids. All right, Jen Marie, that was fabulous. All right, Monica, let's see. Monica, this is the navigation card. You're welcome, Jen Marie. Let's see. It's time to tap into your innate navigation system and plan your trip. Determine where you're heading and imagine the final destination where you see yourself at peace. After all, even the best GPS wouldn't do you any good if you don't know the address. Determine where you are right now in life and clarify your vision, and check what attitudes will help you along the way. Forming a new healthy habit doesn't come easily, but you can prevail with a strong will and determination. This card can also symbolize finding your calling and your purpose in life. Monica, that was fab. I also want to remind you guys of this. If you're someone who's a little introverted and it's really intimidating to sit on a call with me one-on-one, I offer reports for people. So what I mean by that is if you go, girl, I'm not doing mediumship. I love how people come in without reading the room and just run their mouth. But good for you, Cab. So if you are someone who is intimidated to do a one-on-one reading like that, feel free to go check out the reports, because what I do is I do the reading for you, and that at the time that you book it is the time that report winds up in your email. So feel free to check those out, whether it's about your energy, whether it's about your guides, whether it's about past life. I offer reports for them, for people who just aren't ready for the one-on-one stuff yet, but you still want the information. Cav, I have to tell you something. I know you came in here just to like cause chaos, but you couldn't even do it properly because you didn't pay attention to what was going on in this room. Nowhere in this room does it say we're doing mediumship. Nowhere does it say anywhere that we're doing mediumship. It doesn't say it anywhere. You made an assumption, you got called out on it, and now you have to try and deflect it. So I hope whatever works for you, but it's just unnecessary. It's like a total waste of energy to be a troll. A total waste of it. And I also hate to tell you, but whenever people troll and act like that, it really tells me what your own inner world looks like. So I hope all the best for you, and I hope you can find some semblance of compassion and peace for yourself, and therefore you can pass it on to other people. All right, Hunter, let's see. Doo-doo-doo. Hunter, this is the Luna card, which is convenient because the moon is tomorrow. Sure, Malia, if you want to. I mean, it's already on, so I don't know how you're going to turn it on. But that is actually, remember how I was telling you guys that one of my videos made it to the wrong side of TikTok? That's the video. It has a bunch of children on it. who I guess don't understand how to read. All right, let's see. This card represents the freedom of desire and the illuminated path of moonlit dreams. The night can bring comfort to let your imagination fly and to show your wild side. In the dark, our subconscious can bring to the surface vivid clues of a hidden situation. You can achieve your goals and desires if you pay close attention to the limitations of logic and reason. This card can also represent prophetic dreams and the unrealized wild side that calls upon you. The affirmation is, and so it will be. Hunter, thanks for letting me pull it for you. I hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Tomorrow is the full moon, so remember, Jen Marie, thanks for the level up ship. That was so sweet. I've never seen that. So don't forget, tomorrow is the full moon. It's also the new shadow work journal. It's also the new archetype, and also the Patreon schedule for the month comes out tomorrow as well. So feel free to hang out with us for that. And then I'm going to be putting up the poll for movie night up in the Discord for my super fans, aka unicorns. That was super cool. I've never seen that before. Jen, thanks for lighting up the friendship necklaces. The 101 class is called Ether 101. It is called Ether 101. Here, let me see if I can show it to you. Let me see. Hold on. It looks like, I'm going to pull it up so you can see it. It looks like this. Looks just like it. Thanks for the heart, me dude. JenYou'reTheBomb.com. I appreciate you. And if you would also like me to post the link to that, feel free. It's in the collections section. If you go to the Patreon and you click on collections, it's under fundamental classes. There's Ether 101, 102, 103, 104, and there's a ton of other classes in there as well. Yes, thank you for that, Ken. If you are someone who goes into Patreon through the app, it charges an app fee. So if for some reason you see the class listed for more than 22, go through a web browser. Same with the price for the memberships. Ember's $19.99 a month. Healer's Hearth is $50, I think, and then Soul Sanctuary is $111. So if you see it listed for more than that, go out of the web browser and go into go out of the app and into the web browser. Laura, thanks, man. Hello, our original Laura. Hello, hello. Hello, Lightworker. I hope you're all having a beautiful day. We were talking about how people have terrible communication skills today and all their emotional energy is leaking all over the place. So make sure you know what to pick up and what not, because people will do everything they can to deflect it onto you. Don't let them. Don't accept it. Yeah, it really is. The App Store is crazy. The other thing too is when people go through the App Store, they hold your payment for 90 days. I don't know why they don't tell people that either. It's so strange. It's just a very suspicious thing. And then don't forget, the next live class that we're doing is on April 18th. And so I'm really excited about that one. It's going to be live in the Discord at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's all about energetic discernment and opening a clear channel. No, Unique. There's a lot. It's both ways too, honestly. People are feeling emotional and they're making it everybody else's problem, or it's the misery loves company thing. So don't take it on as anything bad. It's a big day for people to transmute things. If you're someone who is in Patreon, feel free to go back and watch the Ether Study Hall around transmutation, especially if you're dealing with big emotions and stuff. Feel free to go transmute some of them. Oh, Hunter, don't avoid them too much. That's all I can say. Don't avoid them too much. So don't forget, the full moon guided meditation and energy work is tomorrow. The new shadow work journal also comes out tomorrow as well. Thank you, Karma. Thank you. Thank you. I also found it really funny when I did it, but apparently there is a whole generation that does not understand humor. So thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated. That makes me feel a little better. Oh, man. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope you're all having a beautiful day. Did I do a live class yesterday on Patreon? No, ma'am. I did not. The last live thing we did on Patreon was the guided meditation on Sunday. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't realize there's a whole generation that's offended unless you mark something as satire, but I don't know. It was a joke because I did not go live at all yesterday. At all. I did post the live class yesterday, but I didn't go live at all. And if you're someone who wants to read about the live class, feel free. It's between the Discord and it's also posted on the Patreon as well. You right, Karma. That's very true. I've come to see that. I have to tell you, I didn't understand half of it. I had to ask people multiple times, like, what is going on in this comment section? I needed someone to articulate it for me. I was like, I'm 34 years old and I'm being trolled by kids. What? How did this happen? Ah, such is the way of going on social media. What's everybody doing today? Anything fun and exciting? I feel like I've already reminded you of things a couple times. So let me give one more. We did a guided meditation on Sunday to the animal realm. That was super fun. It's available if you want to check it out. Yeah, I don't blame you there, Laura. I was very confused for a while. I had somebody explain it to me, but then they deleted their comment after they explained it to me because I don't know if they thought that they were like going to get trolled for explaining it to me, but they explained it to me in detail and then deleted their comment. And I was like, well, shit. Okay. But at least they explained it to me. So that live class got released yesterday and it's coming up on the 18th. It's $33 a person if you want to sign up. New shadow work journal comes out tomorrow, new archetype, and the guided meditation for the full moon. Sacred container with Archangel Mary is on Friday. Reports are available if you're someone who doesn't want to do a one-on-one reading, but you still want the information. Whatever time you book the report for is the time that it winds up in your email. Next week is craft night, so a week from today, craft night in the Discord. And then I'm also going to be doing a free class in the Discord about creating wards with intention. So if you're someone who would like to be a part of that, I'm going to put it as an event in the Cord this week. And then we'll do it. I can't believe it's already 2 o'clock. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Fair. Completely fair. Completely fair. We did watch Beauty and the Beast. We did watch Beauty and the Beast last night for movie night. That was fun. And if you're someone who is a super fan, aka unicorn, stay tuned for the next movie night poll. I don't do yes and no questions, but I'm sending you all the love in the world. Thanks for the rose. Has anyone been doing their own energy stuff or their own guide stuff that they want to talk about? Jack just twitched in the weirdest way asleep. I was like, what is going on over there? He's like twitching front and backwards. Oh, I love that. It was a good movie. I will tell you, the one thing I did notice last night when we were watching it is Belle's face changes quite a bit. Like, there are certain scenes where her face doesn't look the same, and then other scenes it looks normal, but then other scenes it doesn't look normal. It was super strange. I've never noticed that before. That was the first time I've ever seen that. Okay, I'm glad that wasn't just me, because I was like, what keeps happening to her face, dude? I'm like, why does it look so weird? And it didn't seem to happen to anybody else, but it was like, I don't know, it was so strange. Like, sometimes her eyes were like wicked separated. I was like, holy crap. I am excited about the container with Archangel Mary. If you're someone who does shadow work alchemy sessions with me, for like one of the last parts of it, we do a container with Archangel Michael. And so I'm excited to do this container with Mary for everybody on Patreon. I get that. And honestly, sometimes we will feel that way. Like sometimes you just won't feel as connected, and it's okay. The biggest thing I tell people is don't get wound up on it. Because I remember there was times where I was like, oh, I'm broken. It's over. I'm broken. I'll never be fixed. And it was just that I had some shit to work through, that's all. Items for what? I must have swirled. I already forgot. Sorry if you hear somebody snoring. Okay. Okay. You tell me. We'll talk about it later. You know me. I'm a literal person. Do 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 do. Big stretch. Okay. I was gonna say, I wouldn't be surprised if it was me. Everybody's so quiet today. No one has questions, nothing, no questions, comments, concerns. Jack's great. He's over there snoozing. The other thing that I do the other thing I do want to say too is, if you're someone who is looking for like a place in, Lavender, if you want, I have one spot left and there are 22. So if you just send the 22 to wherever you would like to, and you can snag that last spot. Me too. Dinky and I were talking about that today, actually. Little Georgie. I'm curious to see if they do keep his name. That's fair. I will tell you too, don't get too caught up on the feeling like you have to do it alone, because I promise you don't have to do anything alone. Nothing. I'm not sure what's up with that. Try to, I was going to be honest, I got you, Ayana. I was going to ask you if you had, is that how you say your name? I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Or if you want me to call you Lavender Gorilla, I have no problem doing that either. I honestly thought you had allergies going on. So take the time to just like ground your energy, Stacy, and see what comes through. Oh, look at me go. Okay. All right, let me do this. Do I believe in Jesus? Yes. You can say hello first, by the way. It's usually a polite thing to do before you ask someone their personal beliefs. Hello is usually a good thing. Okay. Do. Ayana, can I come over and visit? Okay. Ayana, do you deal with like heavy shoulders, like shoulder pain and like pain in your, like fatigue in your upper back? Have you learned to like keep your emotions and your opinions to yourself because whenever you tried to share them, it hasn't gone well or someone's like belittled them? Let me ask you another question. Do you struggle with receiving like compliments and love and struggle with like trust? Do those things make sense in like in the receiving aspect? Did someone in your life at one point make you feel like you weren't worthy of love? Okay. It hangs out in your solar plexus. Um, so I wouldn't be super shocked if you also deal with like anxiety belly or lower back pain. And sometimes it can probably flop between the two of them. I also get the impression that there's some, it looks like there are some things from the past that actively hinder the way you look at the future and your perception of it. I'm even going to go so far to say that it aids to some fear of the future stuff. So just to be cognizant of that. The other thing too is I wouldn't be super surprised if you're someone who feels like you want to run out of your body every now and then. And it's a grounding thing. Okay. The other thing too is your guides show me you continually like looking over your shoulder. So if you find yourself getting stuck in the past, reminiscing over like the coulda, shoulda, woulda, ask yourself if it's anything you can control in the moment and where the reaction's coming from, and see if you can work through it that way. Because a lot of times when we spend that time looking back and in the past, it'll stop us from being able to be present. And it'll cause some distortion in our field. It's also like left side distortion, because other thing, I have a feeling that you receive messages quite a bit, but there's just distortion in interpreting and understanding them. I think sometimes you think it's your own logic, but it isn't. Is there something to do with Lavender, have you had like a string of not great dreams? Bye, Courtney. Like, is nightmare / night terror something you've dealt with? you deal with headaches that are intermittent, and do they hang out sometimes either more on the left or in the very center of your forehead? Okay. Do you tend to isolate? Okay. There's a couple things I want to say of like what is here. So one, your guides show me that of like keeping your circle small, keeping to yourself. It's a protective strategy. I would also like to remind you that it can be also a detriment when done too much. So hermit mode is great, but being able to identify why we're in it is a big part of it. Two, there is a heaviness here, and it doesn't feel like a grief thing. It feels more like a loneliness thing. Does that make sense? And it's not so much, I just want to clarify one thing. It's not so much that you feel lonely like with people, it's that there's a disconnection of feeling misunderstood, and that in turn can make us feel alone. Especially when we are someone who perceives things differently than other people. Wow, that was really heavy. That was weird. Hold on. Would I be right if I said that there was someone in your past who used to control your voice? Okay. Lavender, I have two things that I want to say to you. One, if you would like some energy work to help move some of this, I would be more than happy to do that with you right now, if that is something you would like. Two, is there a question or something you specifically want me to look at, or something you want to ask? I'm going to do it with you right now. You do not have to charge me or pay me anything else. I would just be willing to offer it to you right now if you would like it. You have to pay me nothing. Okay. Do you have a question before we get into that? Is there something you specifically want me to look at, or something you're curious about? Couple things. So there's this really hot feeling on my left shoulder. And I really think it goes back to that looking back. The other thing too is I get the impression that your path forward will make more sense once you start to embody the things you want. Because I have a feeling that this is like one of the first times you're starting to take your power back and do things for you, regardless of what others say. Does that make sense? I wouldn't worry so much about the future at the moment as I would about focusing on being present and not in the past. Because this is something they keep bringing me to, is like this way, and then there's like this burning sensation on my shoulder, and it really gives me the, like, we're looking back, we're stuck in that. And being able to work on being present would be the first step in that. Are you someone who struggles to sit with yourself? And what I mean by this is that you have to have music playing, you have to have a show on in the background. If you're doing something, there has to be noise in the background. Do you find it hard to shut your brain off and just sit with yourself? Amen, Hunter. It's a big deal. My hips are like killing me. Okay. Okay, so here's what I'm going to say about that. I would find time, and I'm not saying this is for everybody too. I'm not saying go find a 45-minute meditation to be present for. If you are someone who is just new to being present with yourself, you're new to sitting with yourself, give yourself that grace, okay? So what I mean by that is, if you've never run before, you're not going to be able to run for 45 minutes, okay? So try running for a minute. Try meditating for a minute. Try being present with yourself for a minute. And a lot of the times we do this thing where we try to avoid the racing thoughts. Instead of avoiding them, ask them what they're trying to show you. Because once you acknowledge them, you'll be able to move through them. So start off with just sitting for 30 seconds for a minute. Notice how you feel. Notice any messages that may come through. And over time, you'll work more up to that. Lavender, if there's anything I can say, one of the things that I suggest to a ton of people that I work with is a feelings wheel. Because one of the best ways to start acknowledging that is to understand how we feel. So if you have ever seen one or you would like one, there's some in the Discord. Feel free to just look up a feelings wheel, because if you're someone who struggles to identify the feeling in the moment, looking at the wheel will help you understand how to start identifying them and then how to move through them once you are able to identify them. So if you've never had a feeling wheel, feel free to check it out. I had to use a feeling wheel for a while. And I will forever recommend it to people, especially my trauma peeps. Okay, Lavender, let me ask you a question. Have you ever done energy work with me before? Sorry guys, my hips are starting to argue. Okay, so the way that I will do my energy work is this. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes with me, and then we'll take a deep breath in. Whenever I ask you to do that, I want you to imagine whatever color light I'm using pulling up from your feet. I will tell you things as you may feel them. You might feel them before, you might not feel them at all. Doesn't mean it's not happening. It means we're just getting through some of that distortion. And the more present we become with our energy, the more things we're allowed to feel, because we've moved through some of that distortion. So, other thing I want to tell you is whenever I do energy work with someone, I always ask them to be diligent about the hydrating situation. It's usually around a 48 to 72 hour integration period for these things. And so make sure that you're keeping up with your hydration, because water is one of the biggest psychic elements, and it helps us move through energy and our feelings better when we're hydrated. So if that sounds good to you, what I would like you to do is I would like you to imagine that I am standing on the right hand side of you. I have one hand over your chest like this, and my other hand is directly parallel to this one just behind your back. Okay, I'm not touching you. There's probably like 3 inches between my hands and your body. Out of my hands is coming this really, really pretty blue light. When I ask you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in with me, I would like you to imagine that you are pulling that same really pretty blue light from the bottom of your feet all the way up to the top of your head. If that sounds okay to you, let me know and we'll get started. Okay, so we're going to close our eyes. Good thought. So we're going to close our eyes. What I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. And then let it go. You're going to feel a lot of pressure at your feet. Don't try to guide it. Just let it go wherever it needs to go. Big rush of energy in your chest. You might get a lot of saliva in your mouth for a minute, but I promise it'll pass. Gonna get a quick drop in your belly. Some pressure in your mouth. Some pressure in your hips. You're going to feel a big rush of energy down your entire body. Ayana, what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that there's this really beautiful gold light in the center of your chest. Every time you are taking a breath in, that light is getting bigger and bigger until it completely envelops you in a shield. what I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it. And then let it go. Now, before you open your eyes, I want you to imagine that you're staring at an energetic outline of your body. Hanging off of your outline are some cords. Some are thick, some are thin, some are slimy. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine that you have a really sharp object in your hand. And when you are ready, I want you to take that sharp object and cut through every single one of those cords that are hanging off of your body. Once you've done that, you're now going to have cords that are hanging off of you and the cords that were cut hanging off of everybody else. I want you to take that really sharp object and I want you to draw a line in the sand between those cords to signify this is my energy and that is your energy. And then once you have done that, feel free to come back to me and tell me how you feel. Hi, Loki. Dinky does come outside with me. She just sits in the shade, that's all. Like I was out there sunbaking this morning and she came out and found me. You guys are at almost 100,000 tippy taps. Thank you for that. Perfect. That was the goal. That was the goal. Boom. Ayana, before I let you go, is it okay? Sorry guys, I have to move my hips. Is it okay if I pull you a talisman? My hips are killing me. I know what I'm doing after this. 100% going to stretch. Bum, 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 bum. Loki, what are you up to? Okay, let's see. This is the wisdom card. Let's see. The power of the mind has no limits. Wisdom is not only about having all the information and knowledge, but about applying what we know to our situation so that it adds meaning and promotes the common good. This card reminds you that it's time to live life in such a way that builds spirit. The octopus on this card is upside down, and it invites you to look for alternative perspectives to broaden your vision. Sometimes all it takes is to distance ourselves from the situation to see more clearly what's best for us and everyone we love. Your third eye is awakened and focused on the scene, so don't be afraid to look for a new viewpoint. What do you have a knot in your stomach for? What are you nervous about? Bye, Monica. Ayana, that was fabulous. Thank you for allowing me in your energy and in your space. It's always an honor and a privilege. 2 seconds, Jackie. Huh. Weird. Loki, can I come over for a second? You're so welcome. Feel free to come hang out with us whenever you would like, my friend. Come hang out with us in Discord. It's completely free. There's tons of stuff, resource-wise and other. Ooh. Loki, what is it that you've been holding on to not saying? Like there's something you haven't been saying, or an opinion or an emotion you've been keeping to yourself because you're afraid to share it. Okay, start there. Start right there. Because what we don't deal with will build up as physical stuff. So whatever, there's something avoiding being said and it's backing up into your belly. Find a way to transmute it if you can. Because it's not a bad thing. Anger tells us a lot. It's not a bad thing. It's okay to be angry. You have to ask where it's coming from and why it's there. The other thing that I like to remind myself sometimes when I get angry is my anger due to unmet expectations? That was something I had to learn as a kid, honestly. And it really helped me start seeing things differently. Amen. And write it down. Yeah. Because it's connected to your throat. That knot has a cord to your throat. So there's something that needs to be expressed that keeps getting pushed down. Find a way. Write it out. Light it on fire. Do something to transmute it and get rid of it. Don't do that thing where you wait for the other shoe to drop either, because sometimes it's not going to drop, but you can self-sabotage it into dropping. Does that make sense? I get it. My parents taught me that one. Is my anger due to unmet? Nope. I don't think there's ever a right time. This is actually something that I do in shadow alchemy. So let's see. I had a client once who dealt with anger. Like every emotion that they had, right, turned into anger. And it's because that was the one that they were used to feeling. That was the one that they're used to understanding. That's the one that feels safe to them. So we had to start looking at the anger and ask what its actual name is, right? So sometimes it's, I sat with my anger long enough and I found out her name is grief. I sat with my anger long enough and I found out I'm just really sad, but I don't want to admit that I'm sad. So I cover it with anger, and everybody thinks I'm a really angry person, but I'm actually just sad. So what I teach people to do is I teach people to grab onto that emotion and transmute it into something that works for you, right? Because there's a lot of people that teach people just get rid of it, transmute it, because it's valuable. You can find a way to, I'm sorry about that. You can find a way to utilize it and wrap it in love and make it work for you. So one of the things I teach people is how to grab onto it, transmute it, and then use it into something that would be helpful for you with whatever you're dealing with. So you can transmute it into, stillness. You can transmute it into abundance. You can, and remember, abundance isn't just money. You can transmute it into gratitude, into joy, into unconditional love, versus holding on to that anger. Because remember, holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. 100K, thank you guys for all the tippy taps. I love that, Laura. Look at you expressing your feelings. Love it. Ooh, okay. All right, my friends. I have to get up. Joshua, I'm sorry you feel that way. You are loved and cherished, and I'm positive there would be people who would miss you if you exited. Please feel free to utilize resources that are available to you, your doctor's office, the emergency room, whatever that may be, but know that there are a ton of people who would like you to stay. I love that. Look at you go. I remember I had a session with a client where we got to the nitty-gritty about how they actually felt about one of their parents. And I remember the minute that they verbalized it, the shock on their face. They were like, I don't know where that came from. And I was like, that's the truth coming out. And so we were able to process through it and work through it. And they were able to go have that conversation with their family member about how they actually felt. So it was super cool to see that. Okay, I want to remind you of a couple things. I think your surgery is going to go well, my friend. Honestly, I'm giving you all the love in the world for that. I want to remind you of a couple things. If you I get that. I get it, Laura. I get it. So tomorrow is the full moon. We're doing the guided meditation and energy work. The new shadow work journal comes out. The new archetype comes out as well. The sacred container with Archangel Mary is on Friday. There is a new live class that I put out. It is on April 18th. It is 33 doll hairs a person. If you want to read about it, it's on the Patreon and the Discord. So feel free. And what else? That's all I can think of right now. I gotta go stretch. My hips are killing me. All right. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Craft night is not tonight. It is next Tuesday. If you are someone who participates in that. Feel free to come hang out with us. I have to go answer this. The other thing I will tell you too is if you are someone who does shadow alchemy sessions with me, you get access to me throughout the time that we're doing them together. So like as things come up, as you have questions, you get direct access to talk to me in the moment. So if you're someone who's really looking for like that level of I'm ready to dive in and start doing the work and building the skills, check out the shadow alchemy sessions. And don't forget the next live class is on April 18th and it's 33 doll hairs